Imagine sitting in a small interrogation room. The door is closed. You have been there for hours. The police keep telling you they know you're guilty. They claim they have evidence. They say witnesses have identified you. They insist that if you simply tell the truth, things will get better. You know you're innocent. You know you didn't commit the crime. Yet a few hours later you confess. How is that possible? Why would an innocent person ever admit to something they never did? Sounds unbelievable. But it happens far more often than most people realize. In fact, some of the most shocking wrongful conviction cases in history began with a confession from someone who was completely innocent. Today, we're exploring one of the darkest mysteries in criminal justice. Why innocent people confess to crimes they never committed. By the end of this video, you may never look at confessions the same way again. Confessions are often considered the strongest evidence in a criminal case. Think about it. If someone admits guilt, most people assume the case is over. Jurors believe confessions. Judges believe confessions. Police believe confessions. Even when other evidence raises questions, a confession can be incredibly persuasive. This is why prosecutors often describe a confession as the gold standard of evidence. But there is one major problem. Not all confessions are true. Research over the years has revealed that false confessions are a significant factor in wrongful convictions. And once a confession enters a case, it becomes extremely difficult to overcome. People naturally ask, if the person was innocent, why confess? The answer lies in human psychology. Most people believe they would never confess falsely. We imagine ourselves remaining calm, logical, and strong. But psychology tells a different story. Human beings do not always make decisions rationally. Fear affects judgment. Stress affects memory. Sleep deprivation affects thinking. Isolation affects decision-making. When people are placed under extreme psychological pressure, they may make choices they would never make under normal circumstances. This is not weakness. It is human nature. The criminal justice system sometimes places individuals into situations that can overwhelm even mentally strong people. And that is where false confessions begin. Imagine being questioned for 10 hours, then 12, then 16. You are exhausted, hungry, confused, anxious. The investigators tell you repeatedly, "We already know what happened. We have the evidence. You're making things worse." Sometimes officers are legally allowed to use deceptive tactics. They may suggest evidence exists when it doesn't. They may claim witnesses have identified you. They may imply that confessing will help your situation. The goal is often to obtain information. But these techniques can also produce false confessions. Under intense pressure, some innocent people begin to think that confessing is the quickest way to escape the situation. They tell themselves, "I'll explain later. The truth will come out. I just want this to end." Unfortunately, the consequences can be devastating. Experts generally identify three major types of false confessions. Voluntary false confessions. This happens when a person confesses without external pressure. Sounds strange, but it occurs. Some people seek attention. Others suffer from mental illness. Some wish to protect another person. In rare cases, individuals falsely confess to notorious crimes simply to become part of a major story. Coerced compliant confessions. This occurs when a suspect knows they are innocent but confesses to escape a stressful situation. They may believe the confession will bring immediate relief. They think they can correct the mistake later. Sadly, later often never comes. Coerced internalized confessions. This is perhaps the most frightening category. After prolonged interrogation, some people begin to doubt their own memories. They start wondering, what if I did it? What if I've forgotten? What if they're right? An innocent person can become convinced that they may actually be guilty. Think about how disturbing that is. A person can be persuaded to distrust their own memory. Children and teenagers face special risks during interrogations. Young people often want to please authority figures, struggle to understand long-term consequences, Focus on immediate relief rather than future outcomes. Imagine a frightened teenager sitting alone in a police station. An officer says, "Just tell us what happened and you can go home." Many young people may interpret this literally. They may not fully appreciate the legal consequences of a confession. This is one reason many experts advocate additional protections for juveniles during questioning. One of the most troubling aspects of false confessions is their ability to overshadow other evidence. Suppose DNA evidence raises doubts. Suppose witnesses disagree. Suppose timelines don't match. A confession can still dominate the case. Why? Because people find it difficult to imagine someone admitting guilt falsely. The confession becomes the lens through which all other evidence is viewed. Instead of asking, "Did this person commit the crime?" people begin asking, "Why would they confess if they were innocent?" That assumption can lead to tragic outcomes. What can be done to reduce false confessions? Many legal experts support reforms such as recording entire interrogations from beginning to end, ensuring access to legal counsel, providing special protections for juveniles, limiting excessively long interrogations, improving training for investigators. These measures are not designed to protect criminals. They are designed to protect the integrity of justice. Because the goal of the legal system is not merely to obtain confessions. The goal is to discover the truth. A confession should never be more important than the truth. When an innocent person confesses, two tragedies occur. First, an innocent person may lose years of freedom. Second, the real offender may remain free.